How you doing, YouTube? This is Gunnery Cern 67 bringing you another YouTube video. Today's YouTube video is on the cyber attacks being waged on our critical infrastructure will end in SHTF. Alright YouTube, let's get into it. Over the last several decades, we have watched the nature of warfare shift from physical battlefields to virtual battlefields into our critical infrastructure. From numerous nations openly waging war on its enemies, to shadowy groups wreaking havoc on systems that we depend on. And based on recent reports and intel, this is really only just the beginning. Right now, systems that we depend on a daily basis are facing a continuous wave of threats and attacks from foreign nations, private entities, and even our own citizens. Right now, experts warn that the worst is yet to come. Critical services are at a risk of disruption, and sensitive information could be compromised or deleted. In this video, I'm going to discuss the biggest threats that you'll probably face in the near term. No matter where you live or how disconnected you feel from the grid, it's a threat that intelligence agencies and major corporations are urgently warning us about. We have already seen the economic damage and chaos that cyber attacks can cause. So what happens when a cyber attack on two or more systems occurs simultaneously? Imagine waking up one morning and the power's out. Bank transaction systems are out, and there's a rumor some bank accounts have been zeroed out. But you can't even log into your account to check it. You could skip work. You can navigate all the traffic lights that are out and drive to the bank, but they can't tell you what the status of your savings, checking, or retirement accounts are because they access the same systems and they're closed because the power is out. You could drive home and wait and wonder if the cyber attacks might also have mixed chemicals wrong at the water treatment plant in your area. You can wonder why you can't place a phone call, or how long you'll be in the dark without air conditioning or central heating. The fact is that just one or two overlapping systems that are seized, destroyed, or locked up simultaneously will cause your world to flip upside down and stop completely. And here's the thing. The cyber network has no boundaries or barriers, even if you live miles from anyone. From banking accounts, to pay systems, to transaction systems, to your medical records, to your cell phone service, internet services, and electricity. Every piece of software with a chip, ether cable, or processor comes under attack from cyber hackers. It has the potential to stop operating altogether. But you aren't helpless though. There are steps you can take to minimize the impact of a major cyber attack across the different areas of our critical infrastructure. All right. So first, with banks, we've seen over the last couple of years that hacker groups from all over the world, China, North Korea, Russia, you pick a country, has attacked financial institutions. And like I talked about in the scenario from the beginning of this video, they could do everything from disrupt the bank's website. They could go ahead and zero out accounts, or they can just lock out everybody from all financial dealings with that specific bank. So what are some of the things that you can do that can go ahead and minimize the damage that hitting financial institutions will cause? Well, one of the first things that you can do is you can have cash on hand. Me personally, very minimum, I keep at least $400 in cash and small bills. Also too, I keep physical gold and silver. That way I can utilize that to barter with if I need to. Something like these gold backs. There's a 10 gold back. It takes 100 of these to make 1 ounce of gold, or a 5 gold back. It takes 200 to make 1 ounce of gold, Or you can even go, you can divide it up even more by having one of these 1 denomination gold back. It takes 1,000 of these to make 1 ounce of physical gold. And I own silver. So having precious metals to go ahead and purchase the things that you need if your banking institution is under attack by cyber hackers is the best thing that you can do. Additionally, having certain things that you know people will barter for, like batteries, candles, lighters, food, water filters, first aid items. Those are things, if you keep on hand, that regardless of whether it's cash, precious metals, or bartering items, you'll be able to get what you need if you don't have it. All right. Next thing. Hospitals and pharmacies. A couple months ago, there was a Russian hacker group that went ahead and hacked a well-known hospital along with its pharmacies, and people weren't able to go ahead and get their prescriptions. They weren't able to pay for their medical visits, things like that. So what can you do to minimize the pain if for whatever reason your hospital or your pharmacy's been hacked? You can have 3 months supply of the medications that you need. That's always a good rule of thumb. Try to get 3 months worth of medications. In the past, it was kind of hard to get that, but I think now it's a lot easier. I do have medication that I take, and I always ask my doctor if I can get 3 months supply of it, and he is more than happy to oblige me. So try to get 3 months supply of your medications. That way, if the pharmacies that you utilize or your healthcare provider or the hospital that you utilize gets hacked, you're going to be all right because you have 3 months supply. Additionally, try to go ahead and stockpile some of the over-the-counter medications that you frequently use, like your Tylenols, your Motrins, your diarrhea medications, Band-Aids, peroxide, things like that. If you have that stockpiled, it's gonna be a very minimal impact if your medical establishment that you utilize gets hacked. All right. Next is the water treatment plants. Like I said before in a previous video, recently Russian cyber hackers, they went ahead and hacked a water treatment facility in a place called Milshoe, Texas. And what they did was they posted it on YouTube or TikTok or something like that. And they literally showed them manipulating the water treatment plant. And they even went as far as they overfilled the water tower, and they released something like tens of thousands of gallons of fresh water. It was a big deal. It was all over the news. I'm pretty sure that if you're watching this channel, you've probably seen it. So with that being said, it makes it very concerning that cyber hackers can get into water treatment plants, and they can do everything from shut down the water treatment plant. They could go ahead and mix the wrong chemicals to make the water you drink and you utilize poisonous, or they can just do what they did in Milshoe, and they can just go ahead and open up the water towers and let all the water run out. So the best thing that you can do is ensure that you have some way of filtering water, like the Sawyer Mini I got right here. It's real tiny, but it's very effective, and it filters up to 100,000 gallons of water. Additionally, make sure that you go ahead and get some type of water container. Something simple as this Aquapod kit. This fits in your bathtub. It holds 70 gallons of water. It makes sure that that water stays potable, and it comes with a little pump. You put it in your tub, You hook it up to the faucet, you turn it on, you fill it up, and it even has a pump. That way you can extract the water out. So that's 70 gallons of potable water that you would now have. The other different point of critical infrastructure that cyber hackers can attack is sewage plants. With sewage plants, they can just shut the sewage plant down, something as simple as shut them down. And now you have your area, all that sewage. When you flush a toilet, when gray water goes down the drain, you don't have the water treatment plants or the sewage plants operating and pulling that water to the treatment facility and cleaning it and pushing it back out for usage. So what will happen is all of that sewage rather quickly will start backing up, and usually there's only one place where it can back up, and that is to individuals' homes. I talked about this on a previous video, but if you know that there is a cyber attack going on and it's specifically hitting sewage plants, one of the things that you can do is you can go ahead and go out to your main drain line. You can shut it off, and you can go ahead and stuff cloth. What I have, I went ahead and had a plumber install a check valve. Basically, if something like a cyber attack happened on our sewage plant around here, I could go outside and I actually can turn a valve, and now it shuts off my main sewage. And of course, my family knows that we can no longer utilize the drains in our house. So we have a hygiene plan and a sanitation plan. And we've made like a expeditionary toilet, and we've went ahead and have plans for a hygiene area that we'd utilize, and we would not have to worry about sewage backing up into our house with the installation of that check valve. The other area of critical infrastructure that cyber hackers could go after is the logistical infrastructures. There was a movie with Julia Roberts. I think it was called Leave the World Behind. And towards the beginning of the movie, they're on the beach, and this massive oil tanker runs aground on the beach that they were at. That's exactly what probably would happen if cyber hackers attacked logistical infrastructures. It would affect the ports, like the movie I just mentioned, warehouses. It would knock out their distribution systems as far as their computers, their scheduling, their inventories, all of the things of that nature. Railroads, same thing. Trucking industry, navigation systems of ships and planes. That would all be complete chaos, and we would see more things like on the movie I just mentioned, about more ships running aground, and also airplanes having to be flown with line of sight as opposed to with their GPSs. And what does that mean for me and you? Well, the goods and services that we rely on for our just-in-time type of logistical services won't be getting to a store near us. So how do we go ahead and minimize that type of pain for cyber hackers hitting the logistical infrastructure? Make sure you have food and water. Just like I've got this bucket of Mountain House. You have that. Make sure that you have canned goods. If you want to go ahead and store MREs, but make sure you have some type of food on hand. So if the critical infrastructures go down and the shelves are not getting restocked, that you have a way, or you have some supplies that way you can eat. Additionally, another area that could be compromised during a cyber attack is going to be the power grid. With the power grid, we saw that happen many times. If you go ahead and look at the recent massive blackout that happened in Texas in the winter of 2021, I do believe. The middle of winter, the power grid almost completely crashed, and you had millions of people that didn't have electricity. They didn't have the ability to create heat. They even had it to where the propane and natural gas pipelines shut down and wasn't pushing natural gas to all of these homes that rely on natural gas to heat their homes. So just imagine if cyber hackers go ahead and take out the power grid. So what can you do to minimize the pain if cyber hackers take out the power grid? Well, you can go ahead and get some type of energy generation, like right here, this EcoFlow River 2 Pro. It's a fantastic choice to be able to power stuff in your household. This has 768 watt hours. This particular solar generator has what they call X boost, so it can actually run things for a short period of time all the way up to 1600 watts. It's perfect. Additionally too, you can go ahead and have gasoline generator as well. And I do have a gasoline generator, and but if you're in an area to where you can't really have a gasoline generator, solar generator is just as good. Additionally, with your solar generator, like I live in North Florida, you want to make sure you have a way to control your climate. During the summertime here, it gets really hot. I have a bunch of Ryobi fans that are cordless Ryobi fans that I would utilize this EcoFlow River 2 Pro, and I would power up those batteries and keep those fans running. That way I can control my climate inside of my house. If it's in the wintertime, try to get something like a little buddy heater or a Mr. Buddy heater. Make sure you stock up some propane to utilize it. If you do those things, then you have the ability to lessen the impact of the power grid going down. And lastly, one of the biggest and most scariest things if cyber hackers attacked would be nuclear power plants. With nuclear power plants, I think this is one thing that people don't think of if cyber hackers actually attack our critical infrastructure here in the United States. Because if they wind up shutting down a nuclear power plant, then you're going to wind up having a nuclear meltdown. And that's not good for anybody. With that, there's really very little you can do. The only thing that you can really do is make sure that you have bug out bags, and you have a good bug out plan in place. Additionally, me personally, I would make sure, like what I got right here, I've got my radio, my American Red Cross NOAA band radio. I would have that thing on if something like that transpired in my area. I think I have a nuclear power plant about 120 miles away. I'd be listening to this as much as possible to try to figure out if there is a nuclear meltdown on which way the wind's blowing. That way, if it melts down, you've got all that fallout and the wind's going to take it. That way, I can go ahead in the opposite direction of wherever that fallout and that wind is taking that fallout. But all right, there you go, YouTube. Those are all the things that can be affected if cyber hackers go ahead and attack our critical infrastructure in all of the specific areas. How they would affect you, and the things that you might be able to do to go ahead and minimize the pain if those specific areas of our critical infrastructure do come under attack. All right, YouTube, this video has gone on long enough. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like this content, please hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment down below on what you like, what you don't like. And this is Gunnery Sergeant 67. I'm out.